Welcome to Wealthy Marriage Wednesday.
Hello.
Hey, it's Wealthy Marriage Wednesday. Shifting to your millionaire identity.
All right.
Yeah, I gotta do it right.
Time to
Do
pick.
it right.
I know what time it is.
Yeah, pick your mobile devices and
Hey,
share.
welcome everybody. I'm
Hello.
about to share. If I can share, you can share. We all gonna share together. It's Wealthy Marriage Wednesday.
Sharing is caring.
I love when you say share is caring.
It is. Sharing is caring.
I'm going to share because this is real. And this is
Yeah.
time for our millionaire marriage. We're talking about mindset today,
Mhm.
millionaire identity.
Yes.
What's up, everybody joining us? What's
Come on
happening?
in, y'all.
What's happening? Drop something in the chat on the way in.
Say hello. Say hello.
This is going to be the best session that we've had all week.
You think? I think.
Absolutely.
I think.
Last week was, what did they say, bussing?
I don't know.
Last week was
'Cause
bussing.
It was bussing.
Bussing.
Is that what it's supposed? Is that what it say?
Yeah.
Is that what the young people say?
That's what they say. It was buzzing. Yeah, but last week we hit all kind of events last week. We spoke like
did.
5 times last week.
I
And
think
so
we did.
if you didn't catch us last week, we want you to tune in. Last week's
Yes.
broadcast was amazing. We talked about real estate, talked about the takeover, how you can get your portfolio up.
Mhm.
You know, we gave a lot of great game away last week.
Oh, yeah,
So
we
this
did.
week it's on and popping. We're going to talk about the mindset part. But as always, we talk about real estate. And this today, just like any other day, we're doing Wealthy Marriage Wednesday.
Yes.
If you drop it in the chat, we're going to stop what we're doing. This is live.
Yes.
You drop it in the chat, and we're going to talk about your comments once we see it on the screen.
Yes.
And we're going to go into what you want to talk about as well.
Mhm.
But we're going to be talking about mindset because it's so important. As you know, this year, you can go ahead and share this out at your leisure. But this
Yeah.
year, I'm Coach John.
And I'm Coach Joy.
This is Coach Joy. We love seeing married couples win in their
Yes.
finances and to see them win in everything else that they do, specifically their marriage. But if you want to win in your finances,
Mhm.
we're reading through these books, which we wrote last year.
Yeah.
And we said, hey, for the people who read them, let's read it together. And then
Right.
also we said, for the people who haven't read it, why don't we just give it to you for free?
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about the book together and give you the opportunity to be able to chat through it with us. And
Mhm.
this book is called Financial Freedom. This book is good for everybody, specifically those who have partners and stuff like that. But it's Financial Freedom is Better Together. Many of us have a desire to be financially free. We have a desire to be financially vital, financially mobile, where you can do the things that you really want to do with your time. A lot of us have different dreams. A lot of us have different goals. We're going to talk about those different things on today.
That's right. I'm excited. You know, this is just such a great opportunity. And we are so excited about this book. And so I am glad that we are able to share with you some of the gems that we have written down. So
yeah, but this is really just stuff from our own personal life, and we'll just be sharing from our stories and things like that. Obviously, it's a journey. We don't have anything to teach you today. We just have some things that we can reflect on together. That hopefully it helps us to be able to have the right conversations that help to grow our businesses, grow our marriage, help us to be better investors, help us to think a little bit better, because truly the way you think is ultimately the way that you are going to go into your abundance. And so without further ado, we are going to be talking today about shifting to your millionaire identity. So you can just raise your hand if you got this wherever you at. You just because you watching, just go ahead and say, raise your hand. Do I have a millionaire identity? I do. My millionaire's identity is named Raul.
Raul.
Yes.
That's new. I haven't. Okay, y'all. This is the news flash.
No, it's not.
It's a news flash because I'm just meeting Raul today.
From Monaco. Raul from Monaco.
Okay, Raul from Monaco.
Yeah, you like that?
Where did he?
You like that?
I did.
Hey, so seriously though, no, I'm just playing. I'm talking about your millionaire identity. I'm talking about your mind. I'm saying, is our mind really ready to be wealthy? And that's really what we're talking about. We're not talking about your pet names for each other or your costume party that you have. Y'all keep your personal business to yourself. What we're talking about is your mindset around wealth. Yeah. And are we mentally in a place where we are ready for abundance? Somebody said it, like if somebody gave you $5-10 million, would you know what to do with it?
Oh,
like a lot of times you want to hear the answer.
Yeah.
You know, the first thing I would do is I would be a blessing to my church and my
Yeah.
community. And then I'm going to take care of my mama because I was supposed to take care of my mama.
Mhm.
And then I just want to be comfortable. So if I had enough left, I'd probably buy myself, you know, maybe a house or something and take care of my kids. And I'll set my kids up. And so here it goes.
Yeah.
Can God trust me with a big check? And the fact is, most of us, if we got a big check, we already thought about how all the ways we was going to spend it already. That money already gone. And so the truth is, if we got some money, we would blow it just like a lottery winner.
Right.
And so we would have to think about, you know, what is our mindset? And can we be trusted? And do we have the mindset of someone who is actively looking to take on a millionaire identity? So that's what we're talking about today. And all those who are following along in the book, we're on chapter number 4 in the book, and we're going to be going through that on today. And so if you don't have the books, you can text us at this number, 502-632-3005. And we would be glad for you to come along with us. Once again, as always, get your partner. Partner up. These are partner up sessions. Come on. All right. So here's the financial formula that we've been sharing. We're going to continue to share it until we get blue in the face or green in the face, red in the face.
Oh, well.
I don't know. Some different color in the face.
So let's tell them about the formula.
All right. So, all right. Freedom formula
is turn your time into money.
All right. That's step number 1 is to turn your time into money. So if you got time sitting around and it's not monetized, you want to turn your time into money so that you can turn your money into assets.
And turn your assets into freedom.
And turn your assets into freedom. And there's a typo on that screen. I just noticed it. I wasn't even going to bust it out. What? You gonna say?
I'm sorry. I wasn't going to bust this out.
He said, oh, now she just told on it. All right. And so I don't know where to start. See, that's the challenge right there.
Yeah.
Is many of us want to follow the formula of turning our time into money, our money into assets, and our assets into freedom. And so, but we don't know where to start. And so this is the key to where to start. Because today we're talking about the millionaire mindset.
Right. So if you can change the fruit, if you want to change the fruit, you first have to change the root.
That's really good.
Yeah.
And so it rhymes too. And so if you want to change the visible, you have to change the invisible. Yeah. And here's the thing. It's like our mind is the biggest wealthy asset that we have in our mind. And the number one thing we could feed ourselves is feeding ourselves information and feeding ourselves things that fuel our faith and belief into what could possibly happen.
Yeah, I think, also is like if you don't wholeheartedly believe it and your mind is set on it, then the rest of the actions that you do is not going to follow that mindset. So it's like, when growing up, it was like, I never thought I would be anywhere I am right now. Like I just want to be comfortable. I just want to be able just to pay my bills. And that was it. And that was all. But now that I've been able to learn so many different things about being able to come into an abundance about finances and being able to change my future, it's just been amazing. So being able to grasp that and actually believe it and then see how it's coming into play, it's been amazing.
All right. You heard it there first. And so, here's like a real world story about like a money mindset. I remember it didn't get real to us until we bought a house that was like 5 doors down from where the first time I came to the town where we live now is like when we first came here, you were living in one house. And now this house is like 5 doors down.
Right.
And that was like number 11 or 12 or something like that on the list. Like we was getting going. We was really getting going strong. And it was like, okay, wow. And that's when it really got real. And I think we had that moment going inside. It's like, wow, we're buying houses like what we grew up in.
Yes.
And then like you get to a point in your mind, you're like, I'm never, ever going to not have a place to stay.
Right.
Like there's never going to be a time when I'm not going to have a place to stay.
Right.
And then you think like eating food.
Right.
And then you're like, okay, I'm always. And so an abundant mind, really somewhere in our mind, I think something clicked at that moment.
Yeah.
going into this property where you can literally walk out the front door, you come out, and then you see this white house on the corner, and that's the house that Joy was living in with her moms. And it was actually, I think, you want to tell more about it? And so she was living there during that time. And so it was catty corner, and so we walk out of this house and we be able to, experience like, okay, wow, we're buying houses that
I grew up in.
we really grew up in.
Right.
Like your real
Literally.
neighborhood. And it really, when you stop worrying about where you're gonna live, where your kids gonna live, what you're gonna eat, when you stop worrying about the clothes, if you can just somehow get past that, there's a whole nother level of thought.
Right.
And at that level of thought is an abundance.
Yes.
And if you can walk into that level of abundance, then you realistically be unstoppable. Anything you put your mind towards in that particular place, because your level of belief has increased that your basic needs and the things that you just need are never ever going to be possibly not have.
Your mind has switched from lack to abundance.
Your mind has switched from lack to abundance.
Yeah.
And so that's how I would best describe it. Some people have different ways, but that's just more of a personal story because we like to share with you our real examples from our real life on things that have happened to us, but really it was invisible to us. It's like, and so we were wanted to shove steaks in the freezer and buy discount meat and have a freezer full of discount meat and Costco items. So we go to Costco and load it all up, and because we didn't want to run out of anything, and we felt like if we just had enough, we would always be all right. Some other symptoms is like, people who think the way that we would think is that we would keep cash around. And so if you're a cash person, you got $100 shoved off into your wallet somewhere, and then you got another $500-600 stashed over here, $1,000 here.
But even another thing is that I never pictured myself as a homeowner. It's like, sometimes you're like, well, maybe that's not something in my bandwidth, and so that changed over time. But once we was really able to actually grasp that there is more, and you can, and that you can do it. Like, I'm believing that it can be done.
Yeah.
And so it just made me feel totally like it was possible. And just knowing and thinking like, okay, this is possible. Being able to change the way my mind was thinking about money, thinking about, that it's not bad. Being able to think about finances as not being bad, and thinking that, okay, so if I do have money, that's not a bad thing, because I had associations of being rich was like all filthy rich, those negative connotations toward it. But once really grasped, like, okay, this is possible. We can do this. We can do this. And it's not a bad thing. It's not a burden. It's a good thing.
Right. No question. No question. Hey, these are real points in a real moment. And so we're going to keep going with this same thought. It's like, if you don't have a dream that scares you, you think it too small. Yeah. It's because, do you think our dreams don't scare us?
Oh,
yeah. It's like when you believe that there's going to be, and so if you're going to take on a mindset in a generation where your whole family's situation is going to change in a generation, then some of that stuff is scary because there's uncharted water. Like, you're going to a place, you're constantly going to be in a place where you're doing something that you normally have never done, or you don't know anybody, or you don't have a lot of personal lived experience with. So you constantly are going from this level to level, from point to point. And so it's scary when you're uncovering new things, and when you're doing things that are different and unknown and all these different things are scary, but it should scare you. If you don't have a scary point, then how sad is that nothing that you're looking forward to gives you a little bit of
anxiety or some butterflies in your stomach?
And then for all those people of faith, it's like, how could you ever really believe that God's doing something for you if you could have figured it all out for yourself? Like, why is your dream so not scary that you don't have to lean on God for your vision? And it's like, I want to be able to only do things that only God can get the credit for.
Oh yeah.
Like literally
Yes.
every single thing in my mind to do, if when it happens, only God can get the glory for.
Oh yeah.
Because they were like, nah, there's no way you could do it.
And you're right.
There's no possible way.
Yeah.
Because like it should scare you to that extent. Like you should have that level of thought about it. And so this is a big statement here. And this is one that we've really grown to become comfortable in a level of uncomfort with big dreams.
Yes.
Oh, this is so good.
Yeah.
This is so good. And to so many people looking at this probably wouldn't even understand what they was looking at. But what, not how. I want you to lock this in. See, these are 3 words, but these are 3 very, very impactful words. So hopefully if you don't get anything else today, that you really bring this one home to your husband, bring this home to your wife, is what, not how. So many of our dreams are dying, and they literally die. Many of our dreams die because we're so busy thinking about how it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And we don't really say what we want in any kind of detail. We only talk about, okay, how, because if we so worried about how it's going to happen that we completely give up on what. So we killing our dreams before they even get a chance to get launched.
Yeah. And then I think one of the hardest questions we had to ask ourselves was, what did we really want? And that became one of the, it was really hard to come up with, because we were thinking about, well, what you like, oh, I want to be able to, pay my bills and be on time. But then it's like, no, John was just, we just expressed that if your dreams don't scare you, then they're not big enough. They're too small. And so when you get the gumption to actually have a big dream, then you got to put that.
Yeah. Nothing has killed more ideas and more thoughts and more vision than somebody going to the how too quickly before they really fell in love with the what. Like at what point is it, okay, this is what I know I'm supposed to do. This is what I know and you really taking the opportunity to be excited about it.
Right.
But if you, one of the people who suffered like we've suffered, who every single time we saw a big thought, it was like, well, how are we going to do that? It was even like the thought of being a person who, there's 22 million millionaires in the United States right now. 22 million.
Right.
And so, but for some of us, the thought of that is so far away that it's like, well, how is it going to happen for me? And then some other people then say, well, maybe your number then is to be a deca millionaire, or to be a 9-figure person or whatever. Whatever your number is, why those things, they feel so far away, because we start thinking, well, how is that going to happen? I'm in my 40s. Some of the people say, well, I'm already in my 30s. Some people say I'm already in my 50s. And I'm already in my 60s. How am I going to be able to move forward in these type of ways? And it's like, we're so worried about how it's going to happen. Is it going to be business? Is it going to be real estate? I don't know. Is somebody just going to give it to me? Am I going to get an inheritance? Am I just going to get money to fall from the sky? And it's like, well, and then you'll start talking yourself out of it because you don't know how it's going to happen. And so the one key to being able to really embrace a millionaire mind that's so significant is to really get grounded in what and why, as opposed to how.
Absolutely.
And that was Jim.
It was.
And this is probably the biggest key
to
every single thing that's written in this book, because we're in chapter 4 of the Mom and Pop Millionaire Marriages, which is a book that you work through together. And we're going to read through this all year, but in chapter 4, in the whole theme in the underlying theme of the book.
Time is more valuable than money.
Yeah, time is more valuable than money. But this is actually not true. It's because time isn't more valuable than money. It's infinitely more valuable than money. And there's no limit to the extent that time is more valuable than money. And so if somebody told you flat out right now, hey, I got $10 million for you, would you take it?
Would I take it?
Yeah.
10 million?
Yeah, you take it. I don't even know why she hesitated. She would take it. Well, what if they said, you give you 10 million, but you only have one day to spend it? You're gonna die tomorrow.
But I still take
Yeah.
it. Yes.
Okay, you take it. All right. Well, what if there was an antidote you could take today and it cost 10 million? Would you buy it?
Yes.
Okay, so you're telling me you would take all that $10 million and buy an antidote for whatever that was so you could have more time.
Yeah.
But you go down to zero.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying that you would rather be alive than, so the time is more valuable.
Absolutely.
So no question.
Yeah.
So no doubt about it. Like, there's nothing that we wouldn't do
to get more time.
Yeah, but we don't value time now. And so it's like, if you value time now, you're going to do everything in your power to get as much of it back as you can. And that's why we do real estate. It's so we can get more of our time back.
And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's why you can't put stuff off until tomorrow.
Right.
Because, I know when I was young, I'm like, oh, I'm young. I got time to do that. I got time. You don't know. Your time is now. Your time is now, whether you 20, 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever. Your time is now, because you don't get the time back. Once time is gone, it's gone. So do it now. Do it now.
That's right.
Come on, y'all.
Now,
your time is now.
The same time we telling it to you, we telling it to ourselves.
Yes.
And there's no time to delay.
That's right.
And if you a person who has purpose on your life, or you have different things that you're pushing for, different things that you are supposed to be doing, you got to do it immediately.
Yes.
Like, time is so important, but not just time in terms of doing, but also setting yourself up so that you can follow the wealth formula that we've been sharing, and we're going to continue to share, is using your time to get some money, and then using your money to buy some assets.
Yes.
And then using your assets to buy your freedom. That's where you really get the opportunity to be able to move. Because here's one big thing that we've really got to share with you all, is you gonna want to make more and argue less.
Yes.
Like, no amount of money can buy back the time that's lost arguing, worrying, and being stressed about finances.
Right.
And it just keeps growing over time.
Right.
Yeah. And so can you release the worry? And this is a question that and embrace the fun of dreaming again. Dreaming a big dream. A scary dream.
Yeah. But then you can do it together.
And you get to do it together. And there's no better way than to do it together.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And so really, that's why we do what we do in real estate coaching. That's why we did this mom and pop millionaire marriages real estate coaching. That's why we do this specifically.
Yes.
Is that we found that when married couples do real estate together, they have something exciting that they're pushing for. They have something that they're pushing for that's actually bringing in more money for the family, bringing in more equity into the family, which is net worth, growing their ability to be able to access resources and to be able to grow financially in every single way. Like, this is why we started this, is so people can get their time back.
Right.
So you can use the money that you make in real estate to buy some time back for you to spend doing the things that's most important to you.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And that's that right there. When you have a mindset that allows you the energy and the fortitude to really take the time to put first the things that are most important, you'll value real estate investing even more. So that's why we created this program. We would love to help you on your journey. If you like, you go ahead and schedule a call. You can get 502-632-3005. We will be glad, more than happy, to support you on your real estate journey. So reach out to us. We'll send you a calendar link, and we would love to connect. But I'm telling you right now, take on this identity, this mind, and it will bless your life.
Yes. So please, y'all, just join, subscribe to our page on YouTube so you can get the other chapters. So if today was your first day joining us, subscribe to our channel so that you can go back and go through the other chapters with us preview, so you can get caught up. And then like our pages on Facebook, we would love to connect with you. So please reach out. You can also text that number, that 502-632-3005, to connect with us.
All right. Well, as always, y'all stay together.
And it
because
is
it's so
much better
together.
together.
All right.